All right, guys, we just got back from the James River, ended up 11th place and had a solid event, just missed the cut. Could not figure out how to make a good adjustment on that high water, but man, it's a good fishery, really is. Got a lot of good fish in it, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins the tournament today and how they adjust on that high water. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on something. I wanted to wait until after the tournament on the Matt Becker incident. If you saw the video, me pulling in front of Matt and power pulling down. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I think there's my side of the story, my vantage point of what transpired. Jumping to conclusions can be a little bit wonky. So let's sort of dive into what really happened from my side. Day one of the tournament, I'm in this area, and there's some boats running around. Matt shuts down on what I would say was one of my better places, from practice. There's two spots here. One is a log outside the grass edge, and the grass edge itself is a little depression or a little edge right there. There's some bass sitting around that grass edge. There's some bass on the actual log. And then that's one spot, and there's a spot that's up on top of the grass in the coontail. That's a small 6-inch depression in the grass. You really can only see it on live active target when the water's really, really high, but you really can't see the fish. So when the water drops out, the fish get on that depression. There's a big school there. There's a sneaky little school that was set up right there. So when Matt shut down on that place, I'm probably, a few hundred yards away. And I see him, and I'm like, gosh, does he know where that school's at? And so I'm checking score tracker. Has he caught any more? Has he caught any more? Has he caught any? And he hadn't caught any fish. He hadn't caught any scoreable fish, weighed anything, and he took off. So I'm like, man, he must not know. Either they're not there or he doesn't know about that spot up on top of the grass. So I go over there, shut down a little bit later, right behind him, shut down. I go to make that cast. And on my first cast, it hits the water, and one gets it on the fall. It was every single cast for an hour and 15 minutes. During that time, Matt runs by, sees where I'm at. I just caught a 5.3. I'm catching them you would get 3 bites for every single cast. Is how many bass were there up on top on that cast. So I'm in my mind, Matt obviously was fishing that grass edge and was fishing that log. That's what made the most sense to me because he had the first shot at that school and on a good tide and did not catch any scoreables, and they were just loaded. So that night, I was thinking about calling Matt. One thing, we can't call each other and talk about specific locations. It's part of against the rules. We can't talk about specific locations. So I couldn't really elaborate on the spot. So I'm like, well, we'll just let it play out and see what it all goes down. So day number 2 of the tournament, I run out and I'm fishing around. I'm leading the tournament. I had a great day. I got a chance to practice. I'm sort of checking stuff on different tides, seeing what's going on, catching a few bass here, a few bass there. They pull the camera. And, again, still leading. In a traditional 5-fish tournament at this point in time, I would be sitting on that spot because it's the best place I had. It's if it would be a cumulative weight, if it was a Toyota Series or a Tackle Warehouse Invitational, I would be sitting on that spot because it's the best location that I have. But because I had such a great day and the weight's 0, you're not going to burn things down that you don't need to, of course. So fast forward to about an hour left in the period and in the round. Matt Becker's running around. I come out of this deal. I'm running around. I see Matt. He's 100 yards down on this grass line. There's a log that's in the water down there as well. I see Matt running isolated stuff throughout the tournament. I'm assuming he's down there on that log. I run straight over to the exact spot that I know Matt hadn't caught a scoreable bass there yet, but it was my best spot. I shut down and I power pulled down exactly there. Now, there's a grass line on each side. I just wanted this one. I was protecting that. Now, if Matt would have been right there, absolutely, I'm not going to jump in there. But in that scenario, I shut down. Matt put his trolling motor on 100% and came to me in the next minute and said something, made a few remarks. I made a few things back and said, hey, you hadn't caught a fish here, yada, yada, yada. He said he could this, that, the other, and that was it. That was the End of the story for the most part. Now, there's people out there that think, Jacob, you should have let Matt fish that. You think there's people that, oh, you should allow that to happen or whatever. But to me, in my mind, that location, I'm a competitor. This is straight up how it is. If that was MDJ, if that was Adrian, if that was Dustin, if it was one of my boys, I would have done the exact same thing. Knowing that you did not catch a scoreable bass there on day number 1, knowing that you had an opportunity to do so, and running by and seeing that I caught them there, I felt like if you're not exactly on that spot, I was going to make sure that I protected it and play defense. That is what. Listen, I have a lot of respect for Matt Becker. The more anglers you have in the cut, in the top 10 or top 20 cut, that make that cut in the same area, the less chance you have to win. This is all strategy. Like, look, this is not a picnic we're playing. This is bass fishing, and this is a high level bass fishing that we're competing against these guys at a high level. I mean, there's times that I would have a bedfish right here, and there was a buddy of mine rolled up and caught a bedfish 50 yards from me. This year it happened. I had no problem with that because that is part of the game. You're running something specific. That is just part of it. And I think that, and for anybody who jumps into this conclusion of like, oh, well, he just did this. I saw somebody comment this because of Adrian Avina and he was close to the top 10. Absolutely not. This is no way, shape, or form going through my mind. There's no way I'm thinking about Adrian Avina making a cut. I'm literally thinking about winning this tournament. That's it. In my mind, I was protecting what I thought was the winning spot. Ended up not being, but that was what it was. And, I think that this is where it is. In the day of social media, in day and age of social media, where everyone has an opinion, they jump to conclusions, they think this is what happened, that's wrong, this is wrong, they critique everything. And there's people that think that, oh, this is, there's more drama in bass fishing than ever before. There's more people making major drama in bass fishing than ever before. All of this used to happen all the time. There's hundreds of stories I've heard from old timers that have fished on tour for years. Guess what? You know how they handled it? Phone call. Right after the tournament, I call Matt Becker up. We have a conversation about it. I said, look, dude, I was playing defense. I didn't care if you fish 100 yards this way, 100 yards that way. He even said during the altercation, hey, I have that log, which I was not fishing that log. He had not caught a fish there. We talked about it. I said, playing defense, simple as that, protecting what I thought was my best spot. And that was the end of it. You call up the person or talk to them man to man. That's how it was done. And that's how it should be. People jumping to conclusions of making something, a dang amount out of a molehill. I mean, it's crazy. And there's YouTubers that feel a certain way because they can get views, just saying positive things. Oh, day one leader, they're going to get no views. They have to jump on this bandwagon of negativity and talk something that they don't even know what's happening. I just personally, it's sad on that side. It is, but this has always been a part of bass fishing and it always will be. Communicating to your fellow competitors. Now, this is the thing, okay? Well, Jacob, you don't own the water. I get that. I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely. There's no way, shape, or form. If that was a local angler, okay, if that was a local angler and he's running through there, I'm going to run up to him and have a conversation about that and say, hey, man, you mind if I fish up here? Absolutely. I felt like because Matt saw where I caught them at and he had not caught a scoreable fish there, that I felt like I had the right to pull in there, shut down my exact cast, and he could fish 100 yards away. The grass line continued on, and then we squashed it. That's it. So something that I think that, and you might disagree with that, and that's okay, and that's completely fine. But in any competition, you're gonna compete to your best of your ability. And I've never said that I don't compete hard. I don't. I mean, I'm out there and I compete as hard as I possibly can every single day on the water. You guys see that, and whether you agree with it or not, you can respect it. And I mean, that is just where it's at. Matt, we had a conversation. It's over with on that side as far as I'm concerned. I have a little time now. I'm home, get to spend time with the family, and just hang out. Just hang out. 4th of July weekend, cut everything off, and just have a good time. I think that's, I've been gone for a month. Been gone for a month from the family. Been grinding, and I'm looking forward to a little bit of time off. And yeah, so thank you guys for following along. That's the story. That's my side of the story. And I'm looking forward to the next event. I think we have the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals on St. Clair, Detroit River coming up, and then the St. Lawrence River for the final event of the year. So appreciate you all. See you all on the next one.